Welcome, brave souls, to another episode of U.S. Horror Stories. I'm your host, Ben, and today we are delving into 3 real NBA horror stories. Before we dive into our spine-chilling U.S. horror stories, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This way, you won't miss any of our terrifying tales. Story 1. Len Bias's drug-related death, 1986. In a small town nestled between rolling hills and babbling brooks, there existed a basketball court unlike any other. It was known as the Melody Court, where the love for the game was intertwined with the natural rhythms of the surrounding landscape. At the heart of this quaint town was Alex, a teenager whose connection to the world was through the beats and melodies that surrounded every step of life. Growing up in a place where the wind whispered through the trees in a rhythmic cadence, and the river played a gentle tune as it flowed, Alex developed an uncanny ability to translate these natural rhythms into the artistry of basketball. One sunny afternoon, a traveling basketball scout named Mr. Harmon visited the town, drawn by rumors of a player who moved to the beat of a different drum. As he approached the Melody Court, he saw Alex effortlessly dribbling to the symphony of nature. Intrigued, Mr. Harmon decided to watch, and what he witnessed was nothing short of extraordinary. With each dribble, Alex seemed to tap into the pulse of the earth, moving in sync with the rustling leaves and the distant hum of wildlife. The basketball court transformed into a stage where Alex was the conductor, orchestrating a masterpiece with every pass, shot, and rebound. Mesmerized by this unique display of talent, Mr. Harmon offered Alex a scholarship to a prestigious basketball academy in the city. The town, proud of its rhythmic prodigy, sent Alex off with cheers and tears, knowing that the Melody Court had produced a player who could dance with the basketball in ways they had never imagined. As Alex navigated the challenges of city life and competitive basketball, the small-town spirit remained ingrained in every move. In the cacophony of city sounds, Alex found solace in the memories of rustling leaves, babbling brooks, and the harmonious beats of the Melody Court. Years later, when Alex returned to the town as a successful basketball player, the Melody Court had become a symbol of inspiration for aspiring players. The court echoed with the laughter of children and the rhythmic bounce of basketballs, carrying on the legacy of Alex, the player who had once turned a simple court into a stage where nature's melodies and the game of basketball played a timeless duet. And so, the story of the Melody Court continued, a testament to the beautiful fusion of sport and the natural rhythms of life. Story 2. Drazen Petrovic's tragic death, 1993. In the heart of a bustling city, where the skyline reached for the heavens and the city lights pulsed like a steady beat, there was a hidden gem known as the Jazz Court. It wasn't just any basketball court. It was a place where the love for the game intertwined with the soulful sounds of jazz music that seemed to emanate from the very asphalt. At the center of this urban oasis was a young baller named Maya, whose connection to the rhythm of the city was as natural as breathing. The thumping of basketballs, the distant honking of cars, and the murmur of the city formed a unique symphony, and Maya danced to this urban melody with every dribble, pass, and shot. One day, a legendary jazz musician named Miles Walker happened upon the Jazz Court. Intrigued by the fusion of basketball and music, Miles decided to join a pickup game. As Maya dribbled down the court, Miles couldn't help but see the parallel between her moves and the improvisation in his jazz performances. Maya and Miles found themselves in a spontaneous collaboration where the swish of the net and the notes of a saxophone became a harmonious duet. The onlookers, initially drawn by the game, were now enchanted by this unexpected synergy between sport and music. As the sun dipped below the city skyline, casting a warm glow on the Jazz Court, Maya and Miles orchestrated a final play. Maya, driven by the rhythm of the city, dribbled past defenders with the finesse of a saxophone solo, and in a crescendo of motion, she launched the ball towards the hoop. The ball sailed through the air, meeting the swish of the net in perfect harmony. The court erupted into applause, not just for the victory, but for the enchanting performance that unfolded on that urban stage. Maya and Miles, with sweat on their brows and smiles on their faces, had created a moment where basketball and jazz became one, leaving an indelible mark on the jazz court and the city that pulsated around it. And so, the legend of Maya and Miles, the baller and the jazzman, echoed through the canyons of the city, reminding all who heard it that sometimes the most beautiful stories are written in the syncopated beats of life. Story 3, Malice at the Palace, 2004. Once upon a hardwood court where the echoes of bouncing basketballs painted a rhythmic melody, there lived a young player named Jake. He possessed a unique gift, an innate sense of rhythm that translated seamlessly into his game. The dribbles of the ball, the squeaks of his sneakers against the polished floor, and the swish of the net became a symphony conducted by Jake's every move. In the small town of Harmonyville, where basketball was more than a sport, Jake's rhythmic prowess stood out like a soloist in a grand orchestra. His every step seemed choreographed, as if he danced to an invisible beat that only he could hear. The crowd would hush in anticipation each time he touched the ball, as if waiting for the next note in a captivating composition. One fateful night, during the championship game that would forever etch his name in the town's history, something extraordinary happened. The score was tied, and the seconds on the clock ticked away like the beat of a suspenseful drum. Jake, with the ball in his hands, felt a surge of energy, as if the rhythm of the game was in perfect sync with his heartbeat. Dribble by dribble, he moved closer to the hoop, the defenders dancing to his rhythm but unable to break his flow. With a swift spin, he leaped into the air, the ball leaving his hands with the grace of a perfectly timed crescendo. Time seemed to stand still as the ball sailed through the air, and in that suspended moment, the entire arena held its breath. And then, with a resounding swish, the net embraced the ball, sealing victory for Harmonyville. The crowd erupted into cheers, but amidst the celebration, Jake stood at the center of the court, his heartbeat still echoing the rhythm of triumph. From that day forward, the tale of Jake and his rhythmic magic became a legend in Harmonyville, passed down through generations as a reminder that sometimes in the world of basketball, it's not just about the points on the scoreboard, but the music created on the court. In the tapestry of basketball tales, these 3 stories unfold as unique compositions, each weaving the threads of rhythm into the fabric of the game. In Harmonyville, Jake's rhythmic prowess painted a victorious masterpiece on the court, a tale of triumph set to the beat of a bouncing ball. The urban oasis of the jazz court saw Maya and Miles blend the notes of basketball and jazz into an enchanting duet, leaving an indelible mark on the city's rhythm. Meanwhile, the Melody Court in the quaint town became the birthplace of Alex's rhythmic artistry, a player who danced to the beats of nature and brought the small community into the spotlight. Together, these stories harmonized to celebrate the diverse ways in which rhythm elevates the game of basketball, creating a symphony of victories, collaborations, and legacies that resonate beyond the boundaries of the court.